And we're back. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Episode 10. Time really flies. And welcome back to your Nue+Kush Podcast with me, your host, Layla Nue+Kush. It is great seeing you. It's great being able to do this 10 episodes strong. I thank everyone tremendously who has reached out, been a part of the production, who allowed me to do interviews, for those who I'm currently working with and currently have interviews preparing to do interviews with. Thank you all so much for the love and support that you've kindly given to me. If you are new to the channel, make sure you stop right now, go to YouTube, like the episode, and then subscribe. Like and subscribe, so that way you can have the latest and the greatest and the newest. Make sure you have the newest episodes as they come out. Today's episode, I don't want to bore you. Today's episode is actually a really good one. And today's episode is finding your peace. Yes, finding your peace. So we've been talking 10 episodes and we've been talking about a lot. And if you go into the many topics that you've had creating boundaries, family, friends, work, generational knowledge, how to learn from others' past mistakes, generational wealth, how to build that money up, making sure you create a positive body image, especially as you go through transitions, whether that be pregnancy or making sure, weight loss journeys, etc. Exhaling, learning how to exhale in the moment. We've gone through petty, I don't like you here, I don't like you there, I don't like you anywhere. Petty. The benefits of petty, why you shouldn't be petty. What does it all mean? Good health. Making sure that you are really working on being a healthy version of yourself. In last week's episodes, we talked about you're not a good person, you're just nice. Where we really deliberated about whether or not what does being a good person look like versus morally just being a nice person. And then, how do you forgive people without an apology? And all of those episodes really built up to this one specific episode. And that episode is finding your peace. Now, you know me, I'm always good for a good definition. So when we get into what peace actually means, when you look up the definition, peace means to be free from disturbance and tranquility, right? A state or period in which there is no war or a war has ended. And so you're like, oh, girl, why we need to find our peace, or what's up with the peace? And the reason why I want to discuss, finding your peace is because I am a firm believer that there is never a moment in which there will never be any, where you will never have any distractions or disruptions in your life, right? But even with distractions and disruptions, you still deserve peace. Day to day, you deserve to be peaceful. It doesn't matter what's going on the outside. Peace is an internal kind of thing. So when you start having that conversation of how do you master creating a peaceful environment that regardless of whatever is going on the outside of you, on the inside of you, you're 100% legit. When we start having that conversation, in order to do that, you have to have worked through a few things, right? And one of those things you have to work through is your boundaries. Because when you have boundaries, it's easy to be peaceful because you're not intimidated to tell someone no. Part of people's peace gets interrupted because there's always looking to invite the negative in, right? You see the negative, you know you don't like that person, you know you don't want to be in this job, you know you don't want to be in this certain environment, and you still operate and go into them because you haven't mastered the art of just saying no. But when you have boundaries, you don't ever have to worry about that because your no is solid. And you create those boundaries based off of whether or not it's productive for you, and it's peaceful for you. I move a little bit differently now. I'm like 34 years old. I'm like 34. I actually am 34 years old. And so because I'm 34, I've noticed that this year I have been moving so different than I have over the first 33 years. And part of the reason I think I'm moving different is because certain things just don't bother me, right? And I don't allow things to get to a place that bother me. Now, to be fair, I was never one of those people that was easily bothered. I've always kept very calm, cool, collected. I believe you should just address all of your issues up front. I'm not one of those kind of people that's going to bed upset. Not one of those kind of people that's holding my tongue. If you know me, you know this. My tongue is a lethal weapon. If we have to go there, I'm so ready to go there. However, at 34, I've grown to a place of not only do I don't have to go there. See, when I was younger, I always thought if they come with it, then you bring it too, and that will keep people at bay. At 34, it's like I don't care. There are just certain things I just don't care about anymore. The amount of effort it takes for me to genuinely drive the emotion of caring about certain things, to be fair, it's completely disrespectful. Completely disrespectful. I'm not working towards caring about things that no longer serve my peace, no longer serve my interests, no longer serve me. And so I'm able to move a lot more just maybe gracefully. I'm able to move so gracefully because there's just certain things I don't care about. Like when you're setting up your place of peace, let's get down to the breakdown of really what it means to set up your peace. When you're setting up your peace, be honest with yourself about what you want to care about. For instance, friends. My friend list is so short right now. Like, if I reach my arm out, I done touched everybody I like. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. Count them on one hand, still got fingers and thumbs left. And I grew, to be fair, I didn't have this vigorous friend list before, but my friend list really was broken down to who do you like? Who you know likes you? Who can you call in an emergency? Who doesn't disrupt your peace? For a long time, I used to have a couple of friends who they stayed in stuff, and because they stayed in stuff, they always, girl, you won't believe what happened. They always have a story to tell. And although I'm not a dramaful person, because I consider them friends, it's like, oh, well, tell me what happened, right? Tell me what happened. As I became older, I recognized that's not, the ooh girl, that's not my kind of cup of tea. The gossip isn't my cup of tea. The ooh girl isn't my cup of tea. The let's discuss things we've already discussed before isn't my cup of tea. My friend list became shorter when I started looking around and asking myself, who of my friends, whom of my friends are seeking peace for themselves? Who is going out of their way to purposely make sure that in their life, they have peace? They're not looking for drama. They're looking for vacations. Passport, club, unite. That's who I was looking for. And when I started really zoning in on which of my friends are really going out of their way to create productive environments, peaceful environments, lay up on the beach, toes in the sand environments, who's going out there and they're really stamping these passports, looking to stamp the passport, looking to just enjoy life. Well, I stuck closer to them because we're on the same time. I want to be outside, right? I want to be outside and look over where the people are who can enjoy life and enjoy opportunities. And at this point in time, the reality is there need not be any argument. People who are truly seeking peace, like if you truly want to seek peace, you don't have time to change other people. Recognize who people are. And yes, you can still love them from a distance. Recognize who they are and only give access to people who you know are going to bring you peace. They're driving peace for themselves, so they're only including you in peaceful situations. They're only looking for peaceful situations. And to tell you the truth, I didn't even have a conversation with the people who got left behind. I just left them. It wasn't a, oh girl, we can't hang out no more. There wasn't a, oh my goodness, I've decided. I didn't do any of that. Right, because those conversations wouldn't be productive because my mind's not changing and they have a right to be who they are. I just fell back. I just leveled in peace. And when they contact me, when I contact them, I let them know, I hope you're all right. I hope things are going well for you. But I can only entertain this conversation for 5 minutes. So I gotta go. But because I'm really protecting my peace. Protecting your peace is so important. So important. When I went through the conversation of forgiveness without an apology, that had nothing to actually do with the other person. You should never be walking around disgruntled, sad, upset about anybody. And it happens. To be fair, 1,010% happens sometimes. It happens where you'll be minding your business, enjoying yourself, having this amazing time, and then you'll get into a dispute with someone else. They said everything they needed to say, and they've got their rocks off. You haven't said what you needed to say. Now you're disgruntled and they're happy. No, go on, say what you have to say. Write what you have to write. Do what you have to do to get it off your chest. Forgive them. Again, forgiveness does not mean access. Meaning just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean you have to give them the same level of access back to you. They've already proven that they don't. And they can't handle the access before. So it's okay to set up new boundaries. And be like, before you at level 5, get level 3. Me personally, I'm a firm believer, if I have to forgive you because there was no apology, it is 1,010% okay for me to walk away because our relationship can't be mended because you didn't apologize to begin with. Until you can accept ownership of that behavior, it's more likely that you'll do it again. But I look like being out here just being, abused or being, mistreated because you haven't gone to a place where you can own your faults. No. I forgive you. Yes. Will I still associate with you? No. And you shouldn't either. But make sure you get any hostility off your chest. Why? So that you can create a peaceful environment for yourself because you deserve it. You work every day just like everybody else. You deserve to be able to go home to a peaceful situation. You who are smart and beautiful and kind and funny, you are deserving of peaceful environments. And you can't seek what you don't know. So if you're used to being in chaotic environments, you can't seek peace because even when you get there, all you know is chaos. So even though you left some chaos, you still have internal chaos that you're bringing into the new situation, right? Versus for someone like me, what I try to do is I do a personal cleanse where I cleanse my atmosphere. And cleansing your atmosphere really looks like, everybody jokes about the sage. Oh, girl, you need to bring out the sage in your sage house there. But really, it means bringing in the warmer tones, right? Not just saging. Pray in your environments. Make sure that you're cleaning the environment, and not just cleaning in the sense of getting, a dustpan and some bleach, but really the atmosphere, the tunes, like what are you listening to? One of the rules I have is that it's the music that I listen to. I listen to a lot more jazz music these days. I fill my environment with lovable tunes, right? I make sure the music sounds good, and I make sure that I make sure that the atmosphere is full of love and joy. You know, the music, the atmosphere in which I'm surrounding myself with. When you come in, you just feel that joy, right? The scent, right? What what does your home smell like? What's in the air of it? You understand? Sometimes it's 1,010% okay to light candles, to light so just make sure, to have potpourri. Make sure your home, make sure your environment smells nice, right? When you it brings out your senses. You understand? Make sure you're hearing pleasant things. Make sure you're smelling pleasant things. You understand what I'm saying? Making sure that you create that pleasant environment. And creating that pleasant environment is whatever you need. Me, I like a good meal, so my kitchen, it smells like love. You go in my kitchen, and my kitchen literally smells like love. And it smells like love because that's what I want. That's what I personally desire. I desire that love feeling whenever you walk into the kitchen, so you will find baked items, you understand. I started doing things like making homemade bread because of the freshness and stuff like that. Just things that I'm not normally used to doing, that brings peace. There's something peaceful about having food that doesn't have preservatives in it. You understand what I'm saying? There's something peaceful about knowing that I've made something, whether it be a chair or I've painted something. Creating is peaceful. When you're trying to get back to your peace, you have to be willing to shift your environment. And a lot of times that means shifting your mindset. So understanding where you contribute to being non-peaceful and then shifting those things, right? For instance, I'm a debater. If we have a disagreement, I'm 1,010% cool with arguing you down. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I'm cool with we can do that all day. Doesn't bother me. Shouldn't bother you. But is that peaceful? No. Debating with people all day isn't peaceful. So for me, a part of finding my peace was categorizing what is worth responding to and what is not worth responding to. Like, you should respond to that. No, you actually shouldn't respond to that. Understanding those dynamics, to me, has helped tremendously, because there are moments where I want to respond to everything. And I recognize as I've gotten older, I don't need to respond to everything. First of all, just because somebody's talking smack don't mean you should be so easily offended. Who are they? Nobody. So why do you care? Exactly. Part of finding your peace is being unbothered and creating your list of who's a priority, who's not a priority, what's worth responding to, what's not worth responding to. And that comes with a level of maturity of you understanding that there are literally people out there in the world. We know them as internet trolls, but there are literally people out in the world who are just trolls in real life. They have nothing going for themselves other than they want to pick on somebody, they want to say something to somebody, they want to do something to somebody because they have nothing going on. They're bored with their life because they're miserable. The best thing you could ever do is to see a miserable person and laugh at them and keep it pushing. Just ha 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 and keep it pushing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have no time to let someone else's ego press or bother you. You're worth so much more. You're worth 1,000% more. And because you're worth so much more, it's also more important to make sure that you recognize that, hey, even though this person has the galls, I win every time I ignore this person because they can't touch my peace. I'm not letting them entertain my peace. I'm not letting them get on the same level as my peace. Sometimes ignoring people drives the other person way more crazier than responding to them. That is a life lesson. It took me years to find out. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, if you're going left, let's go left together. We can cha-cha-cha slide across this thing. And in real life, I've learned that there are some people out there, they can't just, they can't handle a silent treatment. Like they can't get it together. It bothers them, throws them. Like literally, they can't handle it. The non-response was the bigger response to a lot of people. And so being able to just be like, oh, you get nothing from me because you're worthy of nothing from me is the biggest of the bigger response that you could have. Biggest response you could have sometimes is just saying you deserve nothing from me. That's why I give you nothing. Another way to find your peace is growing yourself personally. Putting yourself in environments that allow you to be creative and grow. So before I was talking about the fact that in my kitchen I like to cook, I've been on this new kick where, and I don't know, maybe I'll do an episode in the kitchen where we can talk while I'm cooking dinner or I'm doing something. Let me know. I'm going to stop right here. If you want to have a cooking episode where I teach you how to make bread or pickles, that's what I made this week, or even some of my meals, like I cook a lot. So if you, and I cook like I know, like I have people waiting at home. So if you would love to do an episode where I'm in the kitchen and we just have a one-on-one, maybe over some wine, maybe over some a drink, or we do a different setup outside of the office, let me know. Stop right now. Go in the comments. Let me know. Put kitchen. Put kitchen in the comments if that is something you would be open to. If you want to know, do a little DIY, maybe some craftsmanship, make candles, or just have a different setup. I want to hear from you. Let me know right now in the comments. Just put kitchen or put candles, or if there's a craft or something specifically you want to do together, let me know and I'll make it happen. But back to the topic at hand. So I've been on this really big kick of being creative. So learning how to make, apple butter and pickles and, just doing the canning process. And then I've also been on this big kick of, so I work out every day, about 4 or 5 times a week, give or take what the week is. And on top of working out, I've started taking dance classes. So on the weekends, I take some form of like different dance. When I was younger, I used to attend course dance company. And so it's kind of my thing. I don't have 2 left feet. And getting, as I've grown and become older, it's just harder. It's just harder. I don't do it. I always knew I would never be a professional dancer. There was always something to do that was fun. It was nice. You get to meet different people, catch the rhythm. And so I've gone back to a place where I'm just in that mode where I get to create. And I get to learn myself all over again. And I'm having the best time of my life. And part of me having the best time of my life is that I get to do stuff that I genuinely enjoy. Getting back to those things that you enjoy is important. Like, make sure that in the process of getting back to your peace, you start doing things you genuinely like, right? And do something new. Do something you've never tried before. So it's a 2-part. Go back to those things you know you like. I know I like cooking. I know I like dancing. Those are things I know I like. And then on top of doing the things you know you like, go back and attempt to do something new. Learn new things about yourself. So something new that I tried is singing lessons. I did singing lessons for like 8 months. For 8 months, I was out here singing la 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 la. really getting them vocals together and stuff like that. That's not how I sing, but that's what I'm on. That's all I'm giving you. I don't have no deal. Yes, that's all you get. That's all you get. Um, but really making sure you genuinely try something different. So I've taken piano lessons, I've taken art classes, just things. The goal is not to find something to do. The goal is to find out new things about yourself. When you're in the process of finding new things about yourself, you'll find that it's a very peaceful place to be. Because you get to expand beyond just the person you are. You are so dynamic, like dynamic. And I know you're dynamic because every individual is dynamic. And I think one of the worst things that can happen to us as individuals is we become stagnant. We become stagnant because we won't take the time to invest, to keep expanding ourselves. You get caught up in work, relationships, children, just life. Life be lifing. Life be lifing so hard that it is very easy to become sidetracked and caught up, especially in today's climate. There's just so many different things going on. The world is a very unique place at this time, and so it's very easy for you to be like, I'm losing track of who I am and my peace because this is going on over here and that's going on over there, and everything's just going on. Everything that could be going on is going on and is going on at the same time. And you like, wow, I feel like I'm running out of space, time, and energy. All at the same time. All at the same time. And so in those moments, the best thing that you could do for yourself is kind of to break yourself apart. Not to hide. So you don't want to exclude yourself where you lose touch with reality. That's not what I'm advising. But it is good to sometimes unplug, to have hard stops. One of the things I've stopped doing is looking at social media throughout the week. I do a lot of networking through social media, so there are times when I'm on it, but I have designated social media time, and I prefer not to look at social media before I go to bed. So another way of protecting my peace is knowing when I'm going to entertain social media, having a designated cutoff time, and not falling into that addiction of, I need to scroll. No, sometimes you need to back up. Back several feet and stay there. Anything happening has already happened and happened without your input. So it doesn't matter if you're present, and it doesn't matter if you finding out the next morning versus knowing that evening will not harm anyone. It just won't. The delay won't bother you, it won't bother them, it won't bother anyone else. It'll just allow you a little bit of grace to get your life together. So, again, getting back to that finding your peace place, I think it's really important to make sure you're in a creative space. But another strong item that I think is just extremely important when you're in the quest of finding your peace is take a break. I'm going to say it for the people in the back because I don't think they heard me. Take a break. Take a break. Take a break. Take a break. Break. Take a break. I think it's extremely important to take a break. And part of the reason I think it's important to take a break is because you won't get a moment where it's like, you've done so well, you get to relax now. That's not how life works. In real life, you get 5 minutes here, 2 hours there, 30 minutes there, half a day here. That's just how life moves. The best thing you could possibly do is learn how to take those 5 minutes, 2 hours, those 6 minutes, and really just relax. That's what the whole exhale episode is about. Relax. It's going to be okay. Life be lifing. I know life is lifing. You know life is lifing. And I think the best thing that can happen when you're in that environment and life is lifing, the best thing that you could possibly do is just relax. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to work out fine. You know, I would love to tell you that, it's all going to work out, but up and down roller coaster, that's life. Up and down roller coaster. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. And sometimes you're in the middle. Turbulence. Just turbulence. But the key to maintaining peace is, regardless of what's going on the outside, is knowing how to secure your insides, knowing how to protect your moods, knowing how to protect. And that's where, again, going back to your senses, creating an environment where things sound pleasant and they smell good, taste right, and you're like, oh, I can enjoy this from a senses perspective, and learning how to, create environments and dabble in things that you enjoy doing, where you can truly be yourself. Being able to relax, regardless of if it's 5 minutes or 2 hours, just taking those breaks as they come along and taking those deep breaths. I've been one who has been caught up that when I get a time for a break, I'll go, I'll wait till the next one, Let me finish this report. Let me finish the situation. Let me do something else. Let me. Only to find out that you're exhausted. You can't do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, because you didn't take those moments when they did come. So remembering, take your moments, exhale with it, set your boundaries, create, really enjoy life, create a good atmosphere. Those are the things that are needed to maintain your peace, create your peace. And it becomes easier the more you do it. So this isn't something that's going to happen and you're like, I created peace. I created a peaceful environment on Monday. Tuesday you have to do it all over again. Wednesday you have to do it all over again. It will become second nature the more you do it. But starting off is very rough. The first time I had to turn around and tell somebody, I'm really not interested in that conversation. You thought I called them out their name. It even felt kind of funky to me, because I'm used to being that leaning ear, that lending ear. I'm used to being that person you can call me day or night and I'm always available. But to protect my peace, I had to learn to fall back. As I learned to fall back, I had to start to become comfortable with telling people no. Now, girl, I say, listen, my no come in multiple languages. No, hell no, nope. No. My no's are perfected. But starting out, that's not how it was. So when you get into the creating an atmosphere, learning to stop at the door and say, this is where we leave work. We will not bring that into our home. This is where you leave this project. This is where you leave this attitude. When you walk into your home, you're shifting, you're taking the time to shift the atmosphere so that you can walk into a peaceful environment. That didn't start overnight. And it took me a long time to recognize that part of the issues was myself. I didn't know how to let go of things. I'm still fuming at the person who cut me off at the light. You cut me off the light only for us to end up at the same light as we were driving, and now I'm looking at you as you look out your passenger window because you can't look me in my eye. I had to learn how to genuinely shift atmosphere, that whatever happened outside my home doesn't affect my home. And even if it happened inside my home, cleaning energy in my home, learning how to get back to my peace and learning how to get back to certain things. It took a while for me. It took an abundance amount of time for me to really learn and grasp that. It didn't start overnight. I would have wanted it to, but it genuinely didn't start overnight. It took some time. It took some time. So that's today's episode. I want to thank you so much for joining me again. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe. Nue+Kush Podcast, Nue+Kush Productions. Please, if you have a moment, take time to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram. That is Nue+Kush Productions on Instagram. You can follow my personal page, which is at Layla Nue+Kush, which is also, there's a hyperlink inside of the bio of Nue+Kush Productions if you have a hard time finding me. I am your host, Layla Nue+Kush. It's always it's always a pleasure to talk to my community. I thank you so much for joining me this week. Remember, this week we are building peace. Go get your peace, regardless of what anyone else has to say about it. I want you all to have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of it. Enjoy the rest of your day, y'all.